Shanti. Friends, today is a very, very auspicious day because just yesterday we had the Vaikuntha Ekadasi. The Vaikuntha Ekadasi is the day on which this Ragothama Swami, one of the most important Dvaita saint, had entered into Vrindavanam in 1597. 1597 he has entered into. His life is a great sort of such a saintly life. In fact, such a sacred life. It is very difficult to find whether any other Mahan had it, because it was unique in its own circumstances and how it happened and all. We will just share some of our thoughts on the great teachings and the great life of this Mahan Ragothama Guru. Before that, we will just say in his prayer to Ragothama Guru, Bhavabhauta Kritam Seve Ragothama Mahagurum Yachishya Chishya Chishyat Yayaha Tippanacharya Sanjitaha. This is the biggest tribute to Ragothama Guru. He was in the lineage of theertha-Monk. He came into this world sometimes in the 16th century. In 1548 is the year of birth. Ragothama Guru is one of the greatest saints. I think in his life is fascinating. He was born with silver spoon. He was born in an aristocratic family. In an aristocratic family, having been born, he was born with a silver spoon and baptized on a golden plate. Brought on a golden plate without touching the earth immediately after his birth to his Swamiji, Raghuvarya Swamiji, because he was the Swamiji, who was to ordain him. Basically, the story goes like that. Raghuvarya Theertha, who was the theertha-Monk pontiff at that point of time, he was wondering, because there was not a lot of, the propagating the Dvaita literature, and as well as, the doing the everyday routines, as well as taking it to the people at large. They were finding it, because very difficult. In fact, things were very difficult in those times. He was wondering on what to do. Who is going to be the successor, who will carry on and all. He was just wondering what to do and all. In fact, what he did, the best anyone can do, he prayed to his Guru, Srimad Madhvacharya. Srimad Madhvacharya, he said, I will just give myself, to meditate myself and pray to Madhvacharya. He has to only show me the way. I don't find any way out for myself to take it up higher. In those days, theertha-Monk was a very simple monastery with not so much of a pomp and show, or because they didn't have so much of a assets or so much of branches all over and all. They were just about getting on with their regular routine as prescribed by Srimad Acharya. So when he was wondering in the night, Raghuvarya Tirtha had a dream. Madhvacharya himself came. This is what has been recorded, and in theertha-Monk also has recorded it. He came in his dream and told him, I think there is a couple. You should go there and bless them. They don't have any progeny. After you bless them, they will get a progeny. That progeny will be the one who will take it up further. This is what has been told to Raghuvarya Tirtha. Raghuvarya Tirtha, because he got it and he immediately had a hope. One Acharya himself has given this. What else you can do? And once it has happened, then he came to, on a yatra, Sanchara he came. He came to the Nizam regime, Bijapur district. When he came, his Purvashrama, his sister was married to an aristocratic family. They are zamindars. Zamindars called Mannur, they call it. In those days, they call it Swarnavata. That place is called Swarnavata. So they didn't have a children. They had all the wealth. They had all the prosperity, whatever it is. They are very well-to-do family and all. The Subba Bhatta, who is the Purvashrama, his brother-in-law, and they were all carrying on. But here Raghuvarya Tirtha, having become a monastic member of theertha-Monk, he was carrying on his thing. He has already sort of detached from his family and the entire contacts. So when he went there, So they requested him to come to his house for Bhiksha. So when he went to Bhiksha, then he blessed them and gave Theertha and told them, I think, you will be blessed with a child, because Srimad Acharya has already told him in his dream. So he told them, if you get a child and that child has to be given to the mutt. With that assurance, he gave them that boon and you will get a progeny. So based on that only, that Gangabai, his mother's name, this Subba Bhatta, because the father's name of Raghuvari thing, he was called Ramachandra Bhatta. Ragothama Swami on birth, he was named as Ramachandra Bhatta. So they got the child immediately. These are such an aristocratic family. They think they were having all the pomp and show. They wanted to take the child, to places, because they had all the means. But then they have the undertaking and given to Raghuvarya Tirtha. So immediately after birth, this Ramachandra Bhatta, as he was named, was taken on a golden plate so that he doesn't touch the earth. And he was taken to the monastery of theertha-Monk. And he was fed on the Abhisheka Tirtha, and whatever milk that was done on Abhisheka and the Salagrama, he was fed on that. So he is the only monk right from the birth. He was taken to the monastery, he went into the order, he didn't go through the normal life and taken up sannyas later. So that's why he was born with a silver spoon and brought in a golden plate. He was taken there and he was given all the studies and all. When he was 7 years, the Raghuvarya Tirtha conducted the Upanayanam of this boy, and finally he was put into one Varadacharya, Adi Varadacharya. He was a very great Pandit, so he was asked to under his tutelage, because he was put into, so that he learns all the granthas and all. His grasping power was phenomenal. In fact, at the age of 9, he could write even small granthas. That was his power. So when he was just 9 years, and finally then he had to take sannyas at the age of 8.5. He came straight from the birth to monastery, the mutt, and at the age of 8.5, he has to take the sannyas. In that almost 35 years he ruled, 1857 or 1557, he has to take sannyas. 1548 he was born. Just before he completed the age of 9, he had to take the Diksha. And he has become the pontiff of that mutt. Raghuvarya Tirtha had handed over, and I think by the time, he was also looking for his moksha. He has gone there and all. But he is a young sannyasi, how he is going to manage the mutt? That was at that point of time, the big question mark. And then, because this tutor who was teaching him, he considered him to be a boy only. He never, though he is supposed to be the pontiff of the mutt, because as a boy, no one thought, because no one tried to, he's a boy, let him get his way through, let him become lately and all. But then, on one occasion, when there was, this Swamiji was invited for a Bhiksha, Swamiji had to complete his, Ragothama Swamiji has to complete his puja, and he went little late. But all others were sitting and, they were taking the prasada. And this Varadacharya was also taking the food. But they were not waiting for the Swamiji to come, because Swamiji was to give the Bhiksha. They didn't wait because they thought, because he's a young boy, let him come whenever. But when he went there, by seeing his sheer presence, that family who was invited for Bhiksha, they fell on his feet, onto the young sannyasi, 9-year-old sannyasi. They fell on his feet. Sorry, I think we have done a big mistake. The others wanted to have the meal. I think we didn't wait for you and all. But then, he forgave them, and it's not a problem. I am just a boy only. He is my teacher. No problem. You can have it and all. He left it at that. That night, the Raghuvarya Tirtha came in his dream with Madhvacharya's blessing, and they wrote on his tongue, because what is the Brahma Vidya, they wrote on him. And he said, now you are not a small boy. You are the Pitathipati of the great mutt, theertha-Monk. And you should not have the simple way of living as we were having, because the way of the world is very different. you will have to, because go about, and if you want to propagate, if you want to do your duty, as a pontiff, you will have to do with all the attendant facilities and all those things. You should go with whatever assets and whatever you can gather, through your sanchara, you should do and do about it. That is the beginning of the Uttaradi Mutt. The Uttaradi Mutt became a very glorious mutt, with all the assets, all the sort of pomp and, facility what they have now. It started with Ragothama Theertha. Before that, they were a very simple monastery and all. And after that, when he ascended, in order to propagate, he took up, the Dvaita philosophy to a great heights. He has got, whatever is written is called Bhava Bodha. He has written 11 Bhava Bodhas. 11 Bhava Bodhas on all treatises of Sri Madhvacharya, as well as Jayatirtha and Vyasatirtha. And all those things he has done. Even Vishnu Tattva Nirnaya he has written. Tattva Prakashika, which is a Jayatirtha's work on the Nyaya Sutta, on that also he has written. He has written in Tattva Prakashika, he has written a masterly work of 8,100 granthas. The monumental piece he has written that. That is why he was called Bhava Bodhacharya. He was called like that. And he is the one who brought a reform. He never sort of distinguished or differentiated between caste, creed, color or anyone and all. He said anyone can come and, whoever want to come and I think interact with him, he was ready to give his bliss. That's why even now, if you go to Thirukkovilur and all, you will find the Ragothaman is a name given even those who are not Dvaitas, even those who are from the agricultural family villages. It is a common name. They have prayed for some boon and that has been granted by Ragothama Tirtha. So that is how, because he is a reformer of first kind, because in those days, such a reforms were not, found to be therein with many of the sects. But the Ragothama Swami, he said, look, he followed Madhvacharya's verse to the letter and spirit. Nana janasya shushushu karmaha. It is not that, you alone be in a pedestal, because you're in an Olympian pedestal and look at the world. You go to the world and you will have to ameliorate with them. In fact, he has created so much, because even when there was a drought, he was with the people. He has helped them, and people still today, for anything in and around that area, 50 square kilometers, they go there and they pray for that, and they go and sort of meditate there, because it is an open Vrindavan. It doesn't have a roof, because when they try to construct a roof, it came in the dream, the roof will not stand. It has to be open to the sky. For rain or shine, it will have to be there. So that is he has taken the Vairagya. He said, I will have to be there. I will have to be available for everyone, whoever is coming. That is why the Ragothama Swami Mutt in Thirukkovilur is open for all the 365 days for anyone who are going through. And today happens to be the auspicious day of yesterday was his entering the Brindavana, holy Brindavana. And today is being the Dvadasi, the first performance of the entire rituals are taking place today. Even Srimad Uttaradi Mutt Acharya is there, and we will pray. We will pray to the Almighty, to Ragothama Tirtha and Srimad Madhvacharya to give us all the benefits, of His blessings to all of us and to the mankind, especially during the pandemic. It is very much required and all. And Ragothama Tirtha, he was choosing that particular place where he has to get the Brindavanam done, and he has asked the Brindavanam to be built a year before he entered into Brindavanam. He had decided so much and all. Why that place he has chosen? This is a holy place. It is called the Southern Pinaki, Dakshina Pinaki. That river is called Dakshina Pinaki. It is called Pennai in Tamil and others. Sometimes they call it, Palaru as a sort of this one and all. It's called Pennai. Pennai is the river. On that bank, at that place he wanted to do, because that was the place. There was a very famous rishi called Galava Rishi. When Galava Rishi was there, in the Dwapara Yuga, and he was in the Treta Yuga and Dwapara Yuga, he was supposed to be the disciple of Vishwamitra. He is such a great, the Galava Rishi is known for his Guru Bhakti. he will not do anything, which, because he has written a Guru Bhakti, even the Stotram, including Ragothama Swami has written a Guru Bhakti Stotram. He says Guru is everything. Without Guru's blessings, you can't even put one step ahead. And he had such a great Guru Bhakti to Srimad Acharya and all the Guru Paramparas. He was totally been, because his way he has written, how one could write in his lifetime so many granthas, it is supposed to be seen, but his granthas are still to be popularized, because, even though it is there and all, the lectures or upanyasas on those granthas are taking place on a very minimum scale. And I think now Uttaradimat has taken it as a sort of a mission, they will be doing it. It's a great grantha. As I told you, the Tattva Prakashika, it has got 8,100 granthas. The versions are there. Padya and Gadya both are there. Written so lucidly, so simple. And he has quoted enormously. Like Madhvacharya, he has given pramana for everything and he has quoted. So he has chosen this Galava Rishi. The Galava is supposed to have brought a divine horse when, because he wanted to give as a Guru Dakshina to his Guru Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra said, I don't need any Guru Dakshina for that, you can give it up and all. Finally, of course, he gave it to the Devatas and, a lot of people were protected by that horse. That's what it seems. As per the legend, Vishwamitra and Galava Maharishi, they are in the Rishi Mandala, they are there. The Rishi Mandala, they are getting it, they are blessing the world. That is what it is. It is at that place where Galava Maharishi was doing all the penance and tapas that Ragothama Swami chose and be there. That is the holy place. That is why it has got much more folia. He had, because he had identified the place much longer. Even before his entering into Vrindavanam, he used to do meditation there. He used to do puja there and all. That is the holiest place. That's why, because it has Thirukkovilur and that Ragothama Swami Vrindavanam has become so famous across the continents in the world and people come all over. And today being an auspicious day, we will pray for that. And this is one aspect of it. And we